I wish I knew the value of IP and brand when I first started out in business. Good morning and welcome to In the Car with Clint. Today I want to talk to you about the value of IP and brand. So IP being intellectual property and brand obviously being the brand of your company or your product or yourself. Now, when I first started out in business, I didn't go do an MBA or a business course. I didn't in fact finish high school. So I'm carrying my year 11 stage 1 certificate, and that doesn't matter. But what I've realized is over the years is I haven't been taught about business. I've learnt about business by doing it, and I think sometimes that's a superpower because you don't get caught up in the well, this is how it's always been done, or this is the standard, or Harvard Business School tells you to get the loans and pay the banks. But the things I've missed is things like, brand is powerful, and having your own IP outweighs selling other people's IP. And so for this example, WaterPro is a brand and WaterPro sells products, but WaterPro sells other people's products. And so WaterPro goes out and spends all this time, money, resources developing the WaterPro brand to a degree, but we're selling other brands like Rainbird and Hunter and even Antolco, which is a great South Australian brand that sells manufactures poly fittings. But if they choose not to deal with us anymore, or they put our prices up, or they reduce the availability, or they change honestly, moving the goalposts is the worst. So if they decide that they're, you're not going to be selling their product anymore, or you don't get to range that one, or it goes exclusive to someone else, then all of that work that you've done's out the window. And so what you'll start to see now is companies like Coles and Woolworths and Bunnings are having their own brands. So instead of, Coles and Woolworths just selling Arnott's and Tip Top, they've got Coles branded cookies and cheese and crackers, and quite often you'll find that the Coles branded one's cheaper, but they're getting it manufactured for themselves. And what's happening there is they're either choosing to make less profit on that to grow their market share, or in fact they're actually making it cheaper because there's less hands touching it, right? There's not another company that needs to make as much profit because there's no salespeople. And so for our brand, for the Hectagon brand, Lawn Hub is that. So we've got a brand where we control everything. We control how we make it, how we distribute it, the marketing of it. And so we're not held we're not held at mercy by our manufacturers. And it's not super dramatic, but the bigger you get, the more hand you've got. But while you're growing a small business, if it's a retail store or even a service-based business, it's probably a little bit different. You really need those partnerships to work, and that takes effort, and it takes relationships, and it takes skill. But sometimes, as hard as you try and as much time as you spend working on making sure that those relationships are strong, you still might have someone take a shit on you metaphorically because of a board decision, because they're like, well, in Australia we're just going to do this now, and you don't control that. So moral of the story, concentrate on your brand. If you can invent your own brand and spend money on it, make sure it's protected, make sure your IP is protected, and then focus on that, because what you'll find is there is a better margin because you control it, especially if you're making a quality product, and you make the decisions on how you interact with the world, so you're not held at the mercy of the resellers, but you might be held at the mercy of the manufacturers, and that's a whole other story. Anyway, I hope that's helped you. If you've got any questions about that, hit me up on DM, or you can put a comment below. Someone else might be thinking the same thing. Have a wonderful day, be kind to each other, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. I'll talk to you soon.